turn after turn, era after era.
And they're off. Here he comes around the curve.
Firestone has been there.
Faster than anyone else.
At the races that defined the sport, on the roads that brought us home, through the miles that made legends. So whether they're conquering the competition or you're conquering your daily drive, with Firestone, you can do it with confidence. Firestone, for dependability at every turn.
What happens when a kid who changed his first tire before his baby teeth fell out grows up to lead the family business? For Randy Lewis, that story began at Gonzales Tire Automotive, founded by his father, Roy, in 1966 in Gonzales, Louisiana, just south of Baton Rouge. Randy worked summers at the shop, joined full-time at the age of 19 in 1983, and spent 18 years working beside his dad before the business gradually passed to him. Today, Randy serves as president, working with his brother Jeff and sister Rodna to oversee their 4 stores. But growing the Gonzales Tire footprint wasn't easy. In this episode, Randy shares what forced the family to expand beyond tires, brakes, and chassis work into total car care. He discusses the family rule that keeps business disagreements from following them home and the old-school customer service principles that Gonzales Tire still refuses to abandon nearly 60 years after it began. Welcome to Johnny G and Friends. I'm Johnny G, and on today's podcast, we're joined by Randy Lewis, president of Gonzales Tire Automotive down in beautiful Gonzales, Louisiana, just south of Baton Rouge. Randy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Johnny.
So, Randy, one of my fondest memories goes back in the early 90s when we first met. Our good mutual friend, Barry Yos, owner of CTO Tire Distributors, he called me up one day and he said, Johnny G, he said, I want you to come down here and meet Randy Lewis at Gonzales Tire, and I want you to meet his dad, Mr. Roy, and his mom, Miss Ruby. And, I still remember that day like it was yesterday. And I'm really jealous of you, Randy, because, I never got to work with my parents in business. How was that to work with your parents on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, we always had a good time. It was a great experience being able to work with my mother and father for that many years. I mean, I went full time when I was 19 in 1983, and Dad retired in 2001. So we had like 18 years working side by side. It was just a pleasure. We got along great. He taught me a lot, and through the years, it just transitioned slowly from him to me. So that's kind of how it went. But it was just a great time working with my parents and for my parents, and they always respected me, and I respected their knowledge.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So your brother Jeff and your sister Rodna also are heavily involved in the business. How do you define amongst you who handles the operations side versus who runs the day-to-day operations?
Rhonda moved back in like 98. She had a different career. Both Jeff and Rhonda had different careers. I'm the only one that stayed in the business for the whole time, but she moved back in about 98 when my mother was trying to transition out of the business, and she does all the back end insurance, accounts payable, receivables, just everything behind the scenes. My sister handles that. My brother moved back about in 03 when we'd, grown from 1 to 2 to 3 stores, and now we got 4. But we kind of split operations between me and him. I take a couple of stores, he takes a couple of stores, and we handle all the suppliers and buying and all that kind of stuff. And we kind of divide and conquer, work together, and making sure everything functions at the store level, from sales to technicians, just overseeing our store managers. Neither one of us are actually a store managers. We got people set up as store managers across the 4 stores. So we each handle that part of the business. Me and my brother, we complement each other. I mean, he's very detail oriented, and I'm kind of not, and we kind of see things from different perspectives. So it's a blessing that we get to work together, because I think we complement each other on how we do things. And my sister just does a great job behind the scenes, so she works really hard. So
Perfect. So let's talk about that. You said you started at 19. You worked every aspect of the business Where did you feel the biggest identity shift when you went from a tire buster to a technician, technician to a manager, manager to president? What was your biggest identity shift that was challenging for you?
Probably about in '01 when we opened up, we went from 66 to '01 with just one store. So when we opened up that second store, that's when my dad helped me get that started. And then he just disappeared. He said, I'm gonna get you in this second store, then I'm gone. But trying to handle both stores, issues arising, I had to make time where I couldn't just be on the counter selling or managing every little aspect. I had to get back to the other store. I had to kind of see what's going on. And that was probably the biggest transition.
Sure. So when you think about your dad, Mr. Roy, starting his first store back 1966, what part of his personality would you say still shows up in the stores today, some 60 years later?
He just thought everybody ought to get a fair deal all the time. And if they didn't think it was fair, you made sure it was, you bent over backwards. You did extra. You treated every customer like it was your mother. You did the right thing by the customer at all times. And that was kind of our reputation in the community. We try to uphold that still today.
I've done a lot of podcasts, but I never had anybody give me that answer. Make the customer feel like they got a fair deal. That's a simple, basic line, and anybody wants that. I just went and bought a washing machine, and damn, they're $1,400 now. They're not $500. Well, I suppose you have some of those, but when we got all done, the guy really made me feel like I got a fair deal, and then I was happy, so.
Yeah, you make people feel important, like it matters that they get treated right.
So in family business, loyalty runs deep, but so do opinions. So when you guys get together, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or one of your birthdays, what's your secret to keeping the family unity strong when maybe some business disagreements pop up during the week?
It's really kind of easy for us because not that we don't have tough times where we have disagreements and all that. Well, when my dad started it, I actually started working when I was like 12 in the business, working summers and all that. But the business started at 7:15, and you worked as hard as you could till 5. But when you turned that key in that front door at 5 o'clock, that was it. We didn't talk about business at home or anything. So family's family, business is business. Family is much more important than business. If there's some kind of disagreement or we're not sure which way to go, we have to come to consensus on something before we go forward with it. And everybody's got to be okay with it. But when we get together outside of business, that's family.
That's a great set of ground rules. I like that. So, Mr. Roy, if he's walking through one of your stores today, Randy, what would make him very proud, and what might surprise him about what's changed?
After he got out in '01, and for several years there, he'd come back to the store, and we was in the middle of a lot of change, just the way the business evolved. I talked to my mother actually earlier today about, some of these questions. She said, well, I can tell you that. Every time he came back after visiting the stores, he'd say, they run it better than I ever could. He was proud of the changes. He wanted to see the business move forward. He was glad to see it move forward in ways he hadn't dreamed of, so it wouldn't bother him at all.
What a nice compliment. What a nice compliment. So what's harder in this industry today? Growing too fast or not growing fast enough?
I kind of think sometimes when things aren't going the greatest in the world, you have a tendency to pull back too much. And I think it's easier to be stagnant and move backwards a little, and you got to prepare yourself to keep the business moving forward. So I think you got to be careful. Not growing fast enough, I think, is more of a danger.
So was it really hard going from the first store to the second store? Like most dealers tell me, that's the hardest one?
Oh, yeah, that was much harder, and there's a little story behind that. From 66 to '01, we lived in a little community, and we did a ton of business. I mean, a lot of tires, 70, 80 cars a day, just busy business. But we only did chassis, brakes, and tires, probably 70% tires, 30% the rest. But when we opened up the second business, we figured we'd run it the same way. And I'd ran the business the same way. Well, everybody came in that business. Can you check my AC? Can you do this? Oh, we don't do that. Oh, we don't do that. Oh, we don't do that. And that was a huge transition to go into total car care. And that was a big learning curve going from one to two. Because we had to, if we was going to get the second business off the ground, we couldn't run it exactly like we ran it the first business, if that makes sense.
So it almost, yeah, yeah. So it almost forced you to say, hey, there's a business opportunity here that we're missing, and we need to get more involved in the automotive piece of it. So let the tires do what they're going to do, right?
Yeah, and we took a lot of pride in not doing automotive except for brakes and chassis and alignments. So we were very proud of the fact, oh, we just do this and we do a ton of business. So when we opened that second store, and it was hard, it took about 6 or 8 months. We had to come to terms like, this is not going to work. We got a lot of money invested in this, and if we try to run exactly the same, we're not going to get off the ground. Within making that change in a couple of years, we had a good customer base and we were doing fine.
The largest tire dealer in the United States, maybe in the world, is a retailer, Discount Tire. They're now switching gears and starting to do alignment in a lot of their stores and some minor stuff. I don't know that they'll ever get into brakes and front end stuff, but obviously there's an opportunity that they see there also. And, the history of Discount Tire was just tires and that's it, mounting, balancing,
Yeah.
whatever. So.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we really kind of enjoy doing the most is the tire end of the business.
Right.
We learned the automotive, and now I think our 4 shops are some of the best automotive repair places in the area. We got great technicians, the proper equipment, and we feel like we do a great job in that area.
Awesome. So, Randy, there's a lot of talk with AI now, and all this automation and sophisticated stuff, but forget that for a second. What's one old school principle that you refuse to let go?
Getting out to the car and with your own eyes, looking at the car. And a lot of these newer chain stores and all, taking videos of the cars and just taking the customer keys and send them the videos of the car and all. But I think getting out the car with the customer, looking it over, writing down their questions and their concerns, and then, calling them back. They don't need, in my opinion, they still don't need a video. They need to have somebody they trust to tell them what their car needs. One day we may have to start doing videos. Who knows,
But, I agree with you. I took my Cadillac Escalade in not too long ago, and, I have a pretty good rapport with Mario, my service rep. And but yet some things changed about a year or two ago, and all of a sudden I'm getting videos, and he's not calling me, and it's just click on here and watch this, and it's like, no, I want to talk to Mario. I want Mario to say, really, is this something I need to do right now? I saw the video, but I really want to talk to you, and it's different. So I agree with you, and I was taught, back in the '69 when I was working. You get out to the car. You see the customer getting out of the car. You walk out to the door and you greet him at his car. Maybe a bumper sticker that he's a big, Louisiana fan, LSU, I should say. And you start talking about the game and you start to build a relationship. Then you walk around, you check the tires out, that kind of stuff. And I don't think too many people are doing that anymore,
Yeah, it just takes one connection with the customer. Find one thing in common that you can talk to them. And it really makes a difference.
Great. So if you could give one piece of advice to the entrepreneurs that are listening to this podcast, what would it be?
When you go into something, it takes a little while. Patience would be my advice. And do the little things right at the beginning and have enough, patience to get to the point where it makes sense, where you're making money and all that kind of stuff. But a little bit of patience.
Great. I love it. So looking back, have there been any decisions that felt risky at the time, but provided to be a turning point for the business?
I guess I already talked about it when we transitioned to total automotive and car care. And then there's been times where we added, we made considerable investments in buildings and things that seemed like a lot of money at the time, but it made all the difference in the world. So laying out some capital to get something done that's going to improve your business. It's a risky thing, but you got to make sure you do the ones that going to make the difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the last time I called your store, your son Andrew answered the phone. We had a great conversation. Do you see a younger version of yourself in Andrew?
And me and Andrew got a great relationship, and he's like me in a lot of ways. But the one thing that surprises me is my dad had a gift of the way he one-on-one talks with somebody, customers and vendors, and they instantly liked him and all that. I wasn't so much gifted in that, but to watch Andrew talk to customers and all, it almost reminds me of how my dad communicated with people. So I see a little bit of him in Andrew too.
So in other words, Randy, he's good at building relationships with the customers.
Yes, he's very good with customers, and they just trust him instantly. It's a weird deal. Like, he does a great job with building up people's trust quickly. He just got that, I'm going to do the right thing by you, and he makes people feel comfortable.
Well, thank you, Mr. Roy, for putting those genes inside your son there, because that's very important stuff. All right, we're going to do something that I have a lot of fun with. It's called Rapid Fire, and I'm just going to throw this out at you, and it's a one-word, two-word answer type of thing. All right, you ready?
I think.
All right. So are you an early bird or a night owl?
Ooh, I'm an early bird.
All right. How do you like to start your mornings?
Coffee. And
okay,
just look at the reports from a bit. I kind of look at yesterday's business reports and go through the financials, look at how things are going through yesterday.
Age you changed your first tire?
On a manual tire machine, probably 6, 7, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we was in the shop driving the real workers crazy because me and my brother wanted to try to do things.
I love it. Your first automobile?
The first one I bought was a 1983 RX-7. The bank did a signature loan for me.
Oh,
back in the day.
All right. I love it. So what's your favorite restaurant in the state of Louisiana? If I come into town, where are you taking me?
Probably French Market Bistro.
What's your drink of choice?
Italian red wine.
All right. And what's a hobby you wish you had more time for?
I always want to travel more.
There you go. Where you been lately? Have you been outside the United States?
Yeah, last spring we went to France for a couple of weeks, to the Bayou in Paris and those areas.
You were in St. Martin not too long ago.
Yeah, we went to Caribbean, to St. Martin a couple of weeks ago. We try to do a Caribbean trip every winter.
Well, Randy, I want to thank you for being on Johnny G and Friends today, and you stay safe out there, and I look forward for us breaking bread sometime in the future.
All right, thanks. I enjoyed it.
All right, Randy, take care, buddy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Turn after turn, era after era.
And they're off. Here he comes around the curve.
Firestone has been there.
Faster than anyone else.
At the races that defined the sport, on the roads that brought us home, through the miles that made legends. So whether they're conquering the competition or you're conquering your daily drive, with Firestone, you can do it with confidence. Firestone, for dependability at every turn.